Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrutyam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tatajayam Udiret Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Hare Krishna Dandat Pranam. Today now we start new chapter Srimad Bhagwatam Canto 11 chapter 19 the perfection of spiritual knowledge. Sri Shloka number 1 to 8. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha अयः विद्या अश्रुत संपन्नः आत्मवान् अनुमानिक माया मात्रमिदं ज्ञात्वा ज्ञानं च मयि सन्न्यसेत् ज्ञानिनः तु अहम् एव इष्टः स्व अर्थ हेतु च सम्मतः स्वर्गः च अपवर्गः च न अन्य अर्थमत्रुते प्रियः. We are taking only 7 shlokas. ज्ञान विज्ञान संसिद्धा पदम श्रेष्ठम विदु मम ज्ञाने प्रियतम अत मे ज्ञानेन सौ विभर्ति मां तपः तीर्थम जप दानम पवित्राणि तराणि च न अलम कुर्वन्ति तां सिद्धिं या ज्ञान कलया कृता. तस्मात् ज्ञानेन सहितं ज्ञात्वा स्व आत्मानं उद्धव ज्ञान विज्ञान संपन्न भज मां भक्ति भावत ज्ञान विज्ञान यज्ञेन माम इष्ट्वा आत्मानम आत्मनि सर्व यज्ञपति माम वै संसिद्धि मुनय अगमन. त्वयि उद्धव आश्रयति यः त्रिविध विकार माया अंतरा अपतति न आद्य अपवर्गयो यत् जन्मादय यस्य यत् अमि तव यस्य किं स्युः आद्य अंत आदि अंतयो यत् असत असत अस्ति तत् एव मध्ये. Next translation and purport by the Srila Prabhupada. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, a self-realized person who has cultivated scriptural knowledge up to the point of enlightenment and who is free from impersonal speculation, understanding the material universe to be simply illusion, should surrender unto me both that knowledge and the means by which it achieved it. For learned self-realized philosophers, I am the only object of worship, the desired goal of life, the means for achieving that goal, and the settled conclusion of all knowledge. Indeed, because I am the cause of their happiness and their freedom from unhappiness, such learned souls have no effective purpose or dear object in life except me. Those who have achieved complete perfection through philosophical and realized knowledge recognize my lotus feet to be the supreme transcendental object. Thus, the learned transcendentalist is most dear to me, and by his perfect knowledge, he maintains me in happiness. That perfection which is produced by small fraction of spiritual knowledge cannot be duplicated by performing austerities, visiting holy places, chanting silent prayers, giving in charity, or engaging in other pious activities. Therefore, my dear Uddhava, through knowledge, you should understand your actual self, then advancing by clear realization of Vedic knowledge. You should worship me in the mood of loving devotion. Formerly, great sages, through the sacrifices of Vedic knowledge and spiritual enlightenment, worshipped me within themselves, knowing me to be the supreme Lord of all sacrifice and the super soul in everyone's heart. Thus, coming to me, these sages achieved the supreme perfection. My dear Uddhava, the material body and mind, composed of 3 modes of material nature, attach themselves to you, but they are actually illusion, since they appear only at the present having no original or ultimate existence. How is it possible? Therefore, that the various stages of the body, namely birth, growth, reproduction, maintenance, dwindling, and death, can have any relation to your eternal self. These phases relate only to the material body, which previously did not exist and ultimately will not exist. The body exists merely at the present moment. Sri Uddhava, purport by the Srila Prabhupada, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Maya matram idam gnatva indicates knowledge that the eternal spirit soul and the eternal personality of Godhead are completely separate from the temporary qualities of the material world. The word Vidya, Shruta Sampanna, means that one should cultivate Vedic knowledge for the purpose of enlightenment and not to make a show of mysticism, intellectuality, or impersonal speculation. Having neutralized the illusory effects of Maya, one should then transfer one's attention to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, surrendering the process of philosophical negation to the Lord Himself. Srila Goswami gives the example that when there is danger, the king may issue weapons to private citizens, but after military victory, the individual citizen return the weapons to the king. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains this point of this verse as follows. Somehow or other, the living entity has to free himself from material illusion which have covered him since time immemorial. Cultivating desirelessness and renunciation by practice of the mystic yoga system, the living entity develops knowledge of illusion and may thus lift himself above the reach of material ignorance. However, once one is situated on the transcendental platform, both knowledge of illusion and the process of acquiring such knowledge have no further practical application. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur gives the example that a man may be haunted by the ghost of a snake or a tiger. As long as the man is possessed and thinks, I am a snake or I am a tiger, attempts will be made to counteract the ghostly influence by application of jewels, mantras, herbs. But when the man is freed from possession by ghost, he again thinks, I am Mr. So and so, the son of Mr. So and returns to his original nature. At that time, the jewels, mantras, or herbs have no further immediate application. The word Vidya in this verse thus indicates knowledge acquired through philosophical analysis, mystic yoga, austerities, and renunciation. Such knowledge of the temporary illusory nature of this world counteracts ignorance. And there are many Vedic scriptures that train the living entity in such knowledge. Gradually, one gives up his false identification with the material body and mind and with those material objects that interact with the body and mind. Having realized such counteractive knowledge, one must engage in the loving service of the personality of God and become a pure devotee. When one is completely perfect in Krishna consciousness, there is naturally little interest in the innumerable details of illusion, and gradually one is transferred to the spiritual world. In the previous verse, the Lord Krishna stated that one should ultimately surrender unto him that knowledge by which the material world is seen as illusion. Material attachment are certainly problems for the living entities since they are diseases of the spirit soul. One who has contracted a skin disease that causes terrible itching gains only flickering relief by scratching the unbearable sores. If he does not scratch, he suffers greatly. But by scratching, even though there is an instantaneous sensation of pleasure, unbearable misery follows as the itching increases. Real happiness is not found in scratching one's skin infections, but rather in becoming free from such disease. Conditioned souls are harassed by many illusory desires, and in desperation, they try to gratify their senses through the hopeless scratching processes of illicit sex, meat eating, gambling, and intoxication. They further try to gain relief through material society, friendship, and love, but the result is unbearable suffering. Real happiness is to eliminate completely the itching disease of material desire. Since material desire is a disease of the soul, one must acquire knowledge to treat this disease and eliminate it. Such therapeutic knowledge is essential as long as one is diseased, but when one is fully healthy, such technical medical knowledge is no longer interesting to the healthy person, and he may leave such knowledge to the doctors. Similarly, in the advanced stage of Krishna consciousness, one need not think continually of one's personal problems, but may rather think of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna, with love and devotion. Lord Krishna advises in the previous verse that one should eliminate one's personal problem through technical knowledge of illusion. After giving up constant meditation on such problems, one can then become a lover of God. Lord Krishna certainly guides each and every sincere devotee internally within the heart and externally through the bona fide spiritual master. In this way, Lord Krishna gradually trains his sincere devotees to give up their irrational attachment to dead matter. Once Once freedom has been achieved, a devotee begins to seriously cultivate his relationship with Lord Krishna in spiritual sky. One may falsely think that just as at a certain stage of advancement, one ceases to concentrate on technical analytical knowledge of illusion. So at another stage, one may give up loving devotional service to Lord Krishna. To nullify such speculation, Lord Sri Krishna here state in various ways that he is the supreme eternal goal of all truly learned human beings. Indeed, the most prominent scholars within the universe are the sages such as the four Kumaras who accept Lord Krishna as their only worshipable objects because they have discovered that they are eternal fragmental portions of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. They are not interested in fruitive activities and mental speculation. Lord Krishna awards celestial bliss and freedom from anxiety to his sincere followers who have no purpose or beloved object in life other than the Lord. The word Padam Shrestha Viduho Mamo. They recognize my lotus feet to be supreme. Certainly eliminate the impersonalist philosophers from the category of some Siddha or completely perfected philosophers. Lord Krishna here refers to such great transcendental scholars as the four Kumaras, Shukdev Goswami, Sri Vyasdev, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. The Lord similarly state in Bhagavad Gita 7.17 and 18, Tesham jnani nitya yukta ek bhakti vishishyate priya hi jnanina ati artham aham sacha mama priyaham. Of this, the wise one who is in full knowledge in union with me through pure devotional service is the best, for I am very dear to him and he is dear to me. Udara sarva eva ete jnani tu atma eva me matam astita sahi yuktatma mam eva anuttamam gatim. All these devotees are undoubtedly magnanimous souls, but he is situated in knowledge of me. I consider verily to dwell in me, being engaged in my transcendental service to attain me. Jnana refers to an authorized philosophical and analytical perception of reality. And when such knowledge is clearly realized through the sanctification of consciousness, the resultant comprehensive experience is called Vijnana. Speculative impersonal knowledge does not actually purify the heart of the living entity, but rather merges him ever deeper into forgetfulness of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Just as a father is always proud of his son's education, similarly, Lord Krishna becomes very happy to see the living entities acquiring a sound spiritual education and thus making progress on the way back home, back to Godhead. Jnana here refers to a clear understanding of the Lord's supreme dominion over all that be. And this realized knowledge is non-different from the supreme personality of Godhead. That the Lord is supreme is confirmed in the previous verse by the word Padam Sreshtam Vidhu Mama. One may perform penances or visit holy places with a proud mentality or material motivation. Similarly, one may chant prayers to God, give charity, or perform other externally pious activities with many bizarre, hypocritical, or even demoniac motivation. Realized knowledge of the supremacy of Lord Krishna, however, is a solid connection with the spiritual world. And if one pursues this holy understanding, one is gradually promoted to the highest level of conscious existence called Vaikuntha or the kingdom of God. The word Vijnana indicates realized knowledge of one's original spiritual form. Every living entity has an eternal spiritual form which lies dormant until one arouses one's original Krishna consciousness. Without knowledge of one's own spiritual personality, it is not possible to cultivate love of the Supreme Personality, Lord Krishna. Therefore, the word Jnatva, Swa Atmanam are significant here, indicating that every living entity can realize his full potentials as an individual person only in the kingdom of God. The example is given that a man walking in the forest may see a rope but consider it to be a snake. Such perception is Maya or illusion. Although the rope actually exists and a snake also exists in another place, illusion thus refers to the false identification of one object with another. The material body exists briefly and then disappears. In the past, the body did not exist, and in the future it will not exist. It enjoys flickering momentary existence, is so-called present time. If we falsely identifies ourselves as the material body or mind, we are creating an illusion. One who identifies himself as American, Russian, Chinese, Mexican, black or white, man or woman, communist or capitalist, and so on. Accepting such designations as his permanent identity is certainly in deep illusion. He can be compared to a sleeping man who sees himself acting in a different body while dreaming. In the previous verse, Lord Krishna told Uddhava that Spiritual knowledge is the means of achieving the highest perfection, and how the Lord is explicitly describing such knowledge. Thus end the purpose. Now prayers. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Ena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sri Vasadi Gaur Bhaktorunda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Ram 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 Hare. Hare Krishna Dandat Pranam. In this chapter, describing the most important point is that Lord told Uddhava that
Hare Krishna Mataji.
spiritual knowledge is the means of the achieving the highest perfection, and that described in this shlokas. That is most important point. Hare Krishna Dandat Pranam. Vancha kalpatarubhecha kripa sindhubhevacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Prabhuji will tell you in short.
Hare Krishna. Sorry, Mataji. I think we are already late today. Some of the meeting is only remaining of 10 minutes. So we'll directly start the chanting session. Kindly repeat after me. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda.